Okay, because I'm very sensitive. So they would try to top it. Yeah, they'll try to top it every so often. Can you come again? Can you come again? Can you come again? And I would try to tell them, no, I don't need it, I don't want it, I'm sore, I need to stop. But they would just keep wanting to do it anyway. So then I thought, is the orgasm for you or for me? Is sex about you taking, or is about you giving to me? On that similar note, I did this to my ex. I like to play with his arm hair. So I would go to him and stroke his arm, and because not hair, okay, hairs. And then I asked him, is it okay? Do you like what I'm doing? And he said, no, I don't like it. Oh, but I've been doing it for a very long time. He's like, yeah, I know. You do it every night. And I was like, yeah, but if you don't like it, why didn't you tell me? I did try to tell you. Okay, so just tell me, how do you feel when I do this? Oh, I feel like killing myself. I feel like banging my head against the wall. So I thought I was giving to him, but he was actually tolerating pain. He was actually tolerating the sensation that I was giving. But similarly, my partners were trying to give me multiple orgasms. They thought they were giving to me, but they were also taking from me. So I think this actually happens quite a lot with a lot of couples, because in my work I started to realize that there's so many of this miscommunication, because we always see giving as something that is good. You should like it. You must like it. And if they don't like it, sometimes we get very upset about it. So as much as we are talking about empowerment and equality and communication, there is actually a lot of misunderstanding that keeps happening around pleasure as well. So I feel it's really important, as frustrating as it is, we need to keep trying. We need to keep trying. We need to find different ways to communicate so that we have a better, stronger relationship. And it is important to keep trying, because there's only one of you in all of time. Don't give up. Try different ways. And you're precious. It's important that you take care of yourself.
Yay! Okay.
I have two ex-husbands, I told you all, who are actually narcissists. So after we got together, they showed their true colors. They would tell me things like, you're so stupid, you don't know what's good for you, you don't know how to look good, you would not make a good mom. And if I was so bad, why did you marry me? I married them because they were not rich, they were not good in sex. I married them because we seem to have this soul connection where when I'm in their arms, I felt very safe, it felt like home, it felt like it was where I belonged. And I just couldn't understand how something that felt so good would turn out so bad. I know people divorce for a multitude of reasons, and for me, I just had to do what I needed to do for myself. Yeah. So to take care of myself, I had to end those relationships. And at that moment when I was so broken, I tried to, you know how they say it doesn't rain, it pours. So I had this training that I couldn't get out of. So I went for it. And I was depressed, I was suicidal, I looked really bad. My friend took one look at me and she said, Martha, whatever you do not shut down your sexuality. So I was a bit scared, I didn't know what to do. Okay, so I asked her, what should I do? Because I was actually really worried that she would ask me to spend like a lot of money on some solution. So she said, go back to orgasmic yoga. Orgasmic yoga is a practice where you pleasure yourself for 30 days, for 30 minutes, and you just play with your sexual energy. If not 30 days, then 1 week. If not 1 week, then 3 days. I first learned about orgasmic yoga doing this training called sexological body work, and I was told masturbate for 30 days. I actually was really, really angry about it. I was like, you know, like fuck you, like why are you telling me how to masturbate, why are you telling me how long to masturbate, I'm so sensitive, if I masturbate so much, so long, I'm so sensitive, I'm going to break. And so I just did the minimum 3 days and forgot about it. But this time, I held on to orgasmic yoga as if it was a lifeline because I was desperate, I was depressed. And I ended up doing it for 45 days. And it did help lift my depression. I could feel that I no longer was looking so heavy. I did feel a difference. So what I did was, I used my bullet vibrator. So I visualized a good energy going into my vagina. So in good energy, out bad energy. In good, out bad. In good, out bad. So even though I felt better, my heart was still broken. So every time I masturbated, I sent the energy toward my heart, and I could feel that there was something happening. I was starting to glow. I felt that I was more beautiful than I've ever been my whole life. Case in point, I was walking down the street and there was this man from across the street. He was staring at me as if I was the most beautiful person in the world, and indeed I felt that way. So when you raise your sexual energy and it emanates out of you and you embrace it, even I was heartbroken, but I still was glowing. And this is what orgasmic energy does. So my ex-husbands, I really don't want to blame them for what happened. I also do not want to say that I'm not responsible, because I do take responsibility for my part in everything. They taught me so many life lessons that I can only be grateful for. And it did make me a better person. I still believe in love. I choose to believe in love. Love is a big part of what I do. I fight for my clients' marriages, relationships. I support them. I don't allow either party to bully the other. I have also had to learn how to love men completely and advocate for them. So, just a moment. So I could think of myself as used goods, left on the shelf, barren woman, but I know I'm so much more than that. I'm not a victim. I'm a survivor of abuse, and I know I'm so much more than that. I know now that I'm so lucky to have the freedom to live the rest of my life the way I want. Okay, as a sexologist, we are bound by counselor's code of ethics. We have to keep our client stories confidential, even when our clients abuse us. I do not share those stories, especially with the media, but sometimes I do have clients who give me consent to share their stories. So one of my clients was Japanese. I remember she would come in and tell me that she would always pack her bags when she suspected her husband of cheating. Or she would pick a fight, pack her bags, and threaten divorce. And this was a pattern. So we tried to get to the underlying belief, like, why are you actually doing this? Her underlying belief was all men are cheaters, especially, except for her father. Her father doesn't do it. So all men are cheaters. In her mind, all men are cheaters. And because this belief wasn't serving her, it wasn't serving her because she kept thinking, since he's going to cheat on me anyway, I might as well divorce him. So she was drawn in this love-hate relationship where she loved a man, loved her husband, but then she hated or had fear of the future. So we started to brainstorm around that, all men are cheaters. And it turns out that she believed good men don't cheat. Okay, good men don't cheat. So we brainstormed and I came up with, I see good men at every turn. I see good men at every turn. Then she asked me, because her English is not very good, Mata-san, what does that mean? Good men at every turn. So I explained to her, it means I see a good man. Then I turn, I see a good man. And I turn, I see a good man. Good man, good man, good man. Or person. So every time you turn around, you see a good man. And she's like, what? Is it even possible? Because I see cheaters everywhere now, Mata. Everywhere. I mean everywhere. I was like, what do you have to lose? Because at the rate you are going, you are probably going to get a divorce. And because we had some inroads with affirmations, she decided to try it. Why not? So she went off. And the next time she came in, she was glowing. I knew something had shifted dramatically inside her, because when people take back their power, they become beautiful. And so I asked her, what happened? What happened? In fact, I was so excited. What happened? Mata, I see good men everywhere. I mean, everywhere. Like, that was the homework, but tell me. Oh, it means I see good men at every turn. Oh my God. I was like, yeah, tell me more. And she's like, I was at Starbucks. As if Starbucks is the answer to everything. I was at Starbucks and I was looking out the window. I saw this man waiting anxiously. I was like, okay. And he was waiting for someone. And for some reason, I just kept looking at him. And suddenly this woman came with a baby. And they looked so happy. He was so happy, Mata. And they were like looking at baby and talking and laughing. And then they walk off. And then I believe this is a good man. After that, I see good men everywhere. As far as I know, they stayed together and they have at least a child together now. And this is what intentionality does. Because whatever it is that we believe in, sometimes we start to manifest it in our life. So choose more consciously what you want to believe in. So another story that I have is, I had this client with vaginismus. Vaginismus is a condition that happens when the vagina shuts down, making penetration difficult or impossible. So this particular client is a bit different from my many vaginismus clients, because she kept talking about, I cannot fart. I cannot fart, I must fart. I must fart and I need to fart. And this wasn't serving her. So I tried to get her to think differently about it. And we came up with other statements. She came up with, I can fart, I am fucked, I am fuckable. And okay, these are okay. But I would love for you to have something that when you say it lights you up, it makes you happy, more than okay. And so she just admitted, Mata, how can I come up with a statement for something that I don't know what to expect? I've never had sex. So I talked about sex, what she can expect, but it wasn't really like what sex is for me, but it's what I want sex for her. So I told her, I want for you sex to be fun, funny, wonderful, amazing, beautiful, yummy, juicy, delicious. She thought for a while and then she said, how about I'm fuckalicious? And that's it. I'm fuckalicious. I'm fuckalicious is more than fucking. It's a way of life. It's a way of being. Because wouldn't we want to be juicy?
Yes.
So embrace fuckalicious. I would want for you to be fuckalicious just like her. Speaking of fuckalicious, are you ready? Just now we talked about orgasmic yoga. So I want to introduce some tools that will help you to be more orgasmic. So in orgasmic yoga, coming back to orgasmic yoga, it is about playing with your body as if it's a laboratory or playground. I think people become so afraid of their sexuality. And back in ancient times, people didn't have electronic devices. They turn their attention inwards and they focus on what they're feeling. So orgasmic yoga, these are the tools, and we have the dice out there. So the first one is Kegels, pelvic floor squeezers. So you squeeze your muscles, pubicoccygis muscles, which are the muscles that you squeeze when you're trying to stop yourself from peeing. So there's the play with your Kegels. There's play with breath, the way you breathe, play with sound, play with movement, and touch. So these are the 5 tools of orgasmic yoga, but on top of all of it, the most important is actually your intention. Your intention guides the energy. Your intention guides the practice. So 30 minutes, 30 days, you can do it for 3 days, play with your sexual energy. So we're almost coming to the end of this, but let's play with our energies, shall we? Let's raise the energy of this room.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's play with sound. So I say ooh, you say ah. So now this is just a test. I say ooh first. So ooh, okay, good. Okay, let's do it together, okay? So let's go louder and louder. See if we can scare the neighbors next door. Ooh, ah, ooh, ah, ooh, ah, ooh, ah, ooh, ah, ooh, ah. Very good. Okay, now we go more advanced. Ready? Okay, so we do ooh, ah together. So we do ooh, ah together. So together. Ooh ah, ooh ah, ooh ah, ooh ah, louder. Ooh ah, 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 ooh ah. Oh, so good. We can do it all day. Better than National Day Parade, right? Okay, just take a breath. Okay, those of you who did participate, I don't know whether all of you did. It sounds like all of you did, but let's take a deep breath and just notice. Notice what you're feeling. Do you feel warmer, tingling? Do you feel that the energy did move in your body? That's great, that's what it is. So surely you feel something because you're not dead yet. So orgasmic yoga changed my life. I actually have a book on orgasmic yoga, and it's really an energy and a resource that's inside us that I think a lot of us are afraid of because we don't learn about it, and therefore we don't know and we don't try. So you might be wondering why I focus so much on sex. People always ask me, why are you a sexologist? So I already mentioned just now, I'm an introvert, I'm an empath, I'm very sensitive. I got into sex because I wanted to hold space for all of Singapore. I had such a powerful first-time sex experience that I wish nothing but for everybody to have positive experiences as well. And people think my life purpose is about sex, but actually my life purpose is about supporting people to be all of what they can be, including in sexuality. I feel that sex is important. It is important. It is so many things, of course, and they call it the good, bad, and ugly side of sex. But yes, sex can be fun, funny, wonderful, amazing, beautiful, loving, delicious, juicy, yummy, even sacred. But sex can also be, it definitely can also be scary, awkward, uncomfortable. It can be painful. And it's just like any relationship we have. It's something that you need to take care of. You need to water, guard, nurture, so that it can blossom. when it comes to sex, we have so many questions around it, and I think that people who have the information, who then are able to practice, they become more skillful, they become more confident, and they become equipped, creative, and fearless around sex. Just a moment.
Yes.
So I feel that sex is like the last frontier of being an adult. We get training in pretty much everything else, and for us to lead like fully optimized life, this is something that would be so wonderful. I would love nothing more than for you to be orgasmic as fuck, just as I am.